Hey everybody, it's Anderson the Sausage King, and up until now I've stuck to pretty traditional sausage recipes on the channel. But I'm done playing it safe, and today's recipe is for me what sausage making is all about. It's an all new and unique sausage that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. Oh, we got a nasty day out here today. But that makes it a great day for making sausage. Let's take a look at the meat that I'm using for this special recipe today. And it's gonna be a combination of pork shoulder and shrimp. And I know it might sound strange, but pork and shrimp are a natural pairing that go really well together. You can find it in all kinds of different Asian dishes, as well as things like some paella recipes, all kinds of soups, and even gumbo and jambalaya. They just complement each other really well, and I think they're gonna work out perfectly in this sausage. Now 50-50 would be a nice blend here, but this stuff is expensive, so I've got 3.5 pounds of pork shoulder and 1.5 pounds of shrimp for a total of 5 pounds, or about 2.25 kilos. Now let's take a look at the seasoning that I'm gonna be using today, and credit to that kind of up way too late, munchy crazed brain for the inspiration behind this one, because I'm gonna be seasoning this with ramen powder. Now, I'd have to eat through untold cases of unseasoned ramen noodles to gather enough of these little packets to get the job done today, or I could go on a late night shopping spree and get a big old bag of the stuff. And that is going to be the base flavor of our sausage today. Figuring out how much of this seasoning to use was a little bit tricky, because maybe you can see this is all in Korean, so I don't know how much sodium is in that. So what I did was took a bottle of chicken bouillon that I could read, and I'm gonna use the sodium level in that as a reference for how much of this to use. And it turns out that that chicken bouillon is about 3/4 as salty as salt, so to speak. So to get this sausage to the 2% salt level that I like, I'm gonna be using 80 grams of this seasoning mix. I also want a little bit of sweetness in this sausage, so I'm gonna add some sugar. I'm just gonna eyeball this and kind of call it when I think it looks like enough. 2.5 tablespoons. We'll call it 40 grams. Just kind of shake those all together. Now in this sausage, I am gonna go ahead and season the meat before the grind. I'm not gonna lie, it seems like a lot. Maybe I did the math wrong, but we're gonna find out. Now just for the heck of it, I'm gonna put a little bit of filler in this sausage today, and I can't think of anything better to use than this. So I'm just gonna beat the crud out of this and powder it down and blend that in with my sausage. That ain't gonna get it. Now I'm I'm gonna emulsify this sausage, meaning I'm gonna put it through the food processor and make it nice and smooth. You may have not ever had them, but they're these little Asian meatballs. They make them out of all kinds of different meat, and they're just an emulsified mix, so they're kind of puffy and smooth, kind of like a hot dog in texture almost. And that's what I'm going for with this sausage mix. But right now is when I want to take out my little sample, fry up a little test patty, and check for seasoning, because it's going to be harder to adjust the seasoning if I need to after it comes out of the food processor. Check out that bite. All right. The saltiness is just right. It looked like a lot, but apparently I know how to do a little bit of rudimentary math. And it's got just about the sweetness I was looking for too. All right. I'm excited to finish this one up. Now, to emulsify the sausage, run it through the food processor in batches. You don't want to overload it because it's pretty tough work for a food processor. There we go. And we're also going to need to add some ice chips to help process it, as well as to keep it cold. You want your emulsification to stay below 55 degrees so we don't break that emulsification. We're trying to bind this fat with air in here and make it a kind of a smooth and fluffy sausage. Alright, what we're looking for is to get this to right around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If it starts to come up above 50, add a little more ice until you can get that as smooth and even as you like it. Right on the money. All right, so I'll get this out of here. Looks like I got a couple of more batches to go, and then we'll stuff some sausage. Now I want to get one more flavor in here before I stuff this sausage, and this is something that I always have in my ramen, and that is some sliced green onion. So I'm just gonna slice a bundle or two of these green onions real thin, and I'll mix that in by hand. Now let's lock and load and stuff some sausage. Well, I think even though the little stuffer here is damaged, I think I can still stuff a sausage of this gauge with it. Won't take too much pressure. I'm using natural hog casings, rehydrated of course. Got my corn pot. Now let's get this thing loaded up. Isn't that a pretty looking sausage? Now, these are uncured, so I need to cook these pretty quickly. So I'm gonna get set up and then we'll poach these. To poach the sausage, I'm gonna heat up some water to between 175 and 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I'll poach the sausages in that until they reach an internal temperature of 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Now these days, I usually will use my immersion circulator for this. It makes it really simple to do and really difficult to mess up, but not everybody's got one of those, so I'm just gonna use this little cooktop today. And this one does allow me to set a temperature, but I am not sure how accurate that is just yet, so I will continue to monitor it as I go. how long this is going to take today. I suspect maybe 20 or 30 minutes, but I will time it and I'll let you know when they're done. They're fatty, so they're going to float, so I'll stir them a bit here and there. Make sure everybody cooks as evenly as possible. Well, I'm just over 12 minutes in. Give this a check. Water temperature is up a little bit. Drop that down. Not too bad though. Induction cooktop's doing pretty good here. And I'm already at an internal temperature of 136 degrees, 137 now. So, compared to smoking sausage, this poaching technique is so fast it's like throwing them in a microwave or something. So you do gotta kind of keep an eye on it. Okay, but at 18 minutes and I'm showing a good internal temperature here. Double check, of course, with my handheld. Right to the core of that. That's got a couple of degrees to go, so I'm just gonna give that a couple more minutes. So this is gonna take just about 20 minutes. I've got an ice bath ready to go. So you always want to shut that cooking down just as quickly as you can. Let's just slide those into there. Woo! Hot, hot, baby. Get them all the way down into that ice bath. You want to leave your sausages in this ice bath for a good 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how girthy your sausage is, of course, because you're trying to get that core temperature to start dropping and stop any cooking that's going on in there. When you poach a fresh sausage like this, these natural casings become very, very tough and rubbery. So, when you go to eat these, you're either going to want to crisp up that casing, either in a frying pan or on the grill, or you can just peel it off and eat it like you would a German Weisswurst. And because this is an uncured sausage, these are going to last for about a week in the refrigerator. But if you freeze them, they're going to last pretty much until they freezer burn. So depending on how you wrap them, that can be a very, very long time. Now, since I like the crack of a nice crispy natural casing, I'm going to pop one of these off of here, I'll throw it on the grill, and then we'll come back and see how we did. Now let's see how we did. Oh yeah. Check out that bite. Alright, let's talk about the flavor. And it is a home run. It tastes exactly how I hoped it would, like a big, meaty bite of ramen. The pork and shrimp have melded into a new, delicious super meat, and it's got that kind of savory and slightly sweet thing going on. And even though I can't read the package, I'd bet that ramen seasoning has a fair amount of MSG in it, and that gives it a really great umami boost. And it was the spicy flavored seasoning too, so there is a touch of heat to this. I think it's great, and it's a base flavor that I can build on later with all kinds of different add-ins. I'm already thinking of maybe some pureed kimchi or some shiitake mushroom powder, and certainly more heat. I can definitely have some more fun with this sausage. Now, the texture, and this came as a real surprise to me. Take a look, you can see it's nice, really well blended and emulsified, and I've had many a meatball made in a similar way to how I made this sausage, and they're always kind of springy and spongy, and I do like that. But the texture of this sausage isn't bouncy at all. It's super silky smooth, and it's so tender. It's kind of supple and soft, and it really has a wonderful mouthfeel, and I think that has to be from the ramen flour that I threw in there. I don't often add any filler to the sausage, but this one shows how just a small change like that can really transform a recipe. I love it! This is really great like this, but there is something that I just have to do with this sausage. Check out that bite. Oh yeah. I love it when a new recipe works out this well, and for me, this is where I have the most fun making sausage. Traditional sausages are great, and you should learn to make as many as you can, but once you start popping them off the top of your dome and making your own, all your sausage dreams can come true. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah. That's pure uncut Korean. You know what the street value of this is?